Hey guys! I am so excited that you all have joined us today. We are pumped beyond belief to share our stories with you. We're excited that someone invited you to learn more about what we do. So first I want to introduce myself. My name is Kelly Dahl, and I am a presidential diamond with It Works Global. So for those of you that aren't familiar, It Works Global, we are a multi-level marketing company. We have been around for about 20 years. And you guys, when I joined this business, I just thought like, oh, I'm going to make an extra $500 a month. That was my goal. I was looking for something to literally pay down one of our credit cards. So I'm going to take you guys back in time a little bit. 4.5 years ago, I started my business just looking for that extra $500 a month. I wanted to pay down one credit card, and we had multiple credit cards at the time. So I was working full-time as a nurse, about 50 hours a week. I was getting my master's degree in nursing, and I was a first-time mom. My son Wyatt was about 5 months old at the time, and I just wanted to pay off that credit card. So I jumped in, had literally no idea what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. I was just looking for a way to make money from home, from my phone, around my crazy life, around that 50-hour work week, okay? And so within a couple of months, I was able to do that. I made that extra $500 a month and I paid off that credit card. And that is when the light bulb went off for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much more to this business and I can do so much more with this than just an extra $500 a month. Okay. And so a few months after that, 6 months after I started my business, I was making a part-time income. So I was making over $2,000 a month. And about a year after starting my business, I was finishing my master's degree. I was still working as a nurse. I completely replaced my full-time income. So I started making more with this business from my phone around our crazy life than I ever did as a nurse. And I had been a nurse for like 8 years at the time. And so that was like dropping, eye opening. I was like, how did I even get here? What is happening? And so soon after that, I decided to come home full time. So that was 3 years ago. 3 years now, I've been home full time. I now make six figures annually from my phone, which is absolutely insane. And we've earned over $100,000 in bonuses alone, just from working this business around our crazy lives. And so I know so many of you watching are thinking, okay, I want to do this. I want to make extra money, but time is such a like it's so hard because whether you're a mom, whether you're a student, whether you are a dog mom, whether you are caring for your parents, whatever it might be, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Okay. And I know that everybody's life is crazy and time is important and time is of the essence. And I love that in this business, you can literally get so much done in an hour or two a day. And so what's important to know, while thinking about this is that you can work this, I like to say, in the nooks and crannies of your day. So 10 minutes here and there throughout your day. When I started and I was working full time, I would work this like 10 minutes before I walked in to work at the hospital, and then 10 minutes over my lunch break, and then 10 minutes before I walked in to daycare to pick up my son at the time. Okay. And then I would work for like 30 minutes at night after I'd put my son to bed and after I'd done my master's homework. Okay. So it doesn't matter what your day looks like, your version of chaos. I want you to know that you can fit this business in around your version of chaos and around your life. Okay. And I know I didn't mention this, before, but I've been doing this for 4.5 years. So we've seen a lot of life. In the last 4.5 years, we have experienced a lot of life, a lot of ups and downs. My dad has battled cancer. We now have two little ones here with us, but we lost a baby at 29 weeks a couple of years ago. So unfortunately, life is going to happen and those tragedies are going to happen. And those things, there's no roadmap to life, right? We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know when these ups and downs, the valleys of life are going to happen. And what's been such a blessing in our family's life is that this business has provided. This business pays all of our bills. This business provides for us to go on vacations. It provides for us to say yes to the sports, for our kids and the activities and the big bounce houses for the birthday parties. Like we get to say yes so much more than we ever would have been able to. We've paid off all of our credit cards. We are working on going completely debt free outside of our home. And we're just dreaming so much bigger than we ever imagined. And you guys, from the outside looking in, when I started this business, we had it all together. We had the house, we had the cars, we had, the 2 good careers, good paying jobs, but behind the scenes, we were living paycheck to paycheck, and we were stressed about money all of the time. We fought about money. And now that's no longer a part of our lives. And we're so, so grateful, that I literally decided to just jump in and go for it. And we're just so, so grateful that I did that 4.5 years ago, because here we are today working this, still in the nooks and crannies of my day. I have 2 kids. Life is crazy. Time is always going to be a thing that we value and that we look at. I think this day and age, we look at the 24 hours in the day and we're like, there's no time for that. But I promise you, when you have a big reason why to start a business, to look, you're looking for a way to make extra money, you can do absolutely anything you put your mind to. So on that note, I'm going to turn it over to my friend, Courtney.
Hi guys, I am Courtney McCravey, Triple Diamond with the company. Been in business about 3.5 years. So this business was definitely a godsend. This was something I wasn't really looking for, but at the same time I was kind of looking for, if that makes sense. I joined this business after quitting my job. I went back to work or after 13 weeks off maternity leave after having my first son. Went back to work for 1 day and quit that same day because that was literally the hardest day of my life, having to go and leave my son. And my husband was working night shift at the time, so I was headed to work, he was coming home from work, and it was just a whole mess because we would have never seen each other, and we would just been on total opposite lives. And I just knew deep down inside that is not how I wanted to live my life. And so I just kind of quit. My husband told me I could quit, and that was just a big deal because, whenever I was pregnant, he told me that we couldn't afford for me to quit. And so, I could go part-time, but that was literally it. And so whenever he told me I could quit, I was just like in just shock. But, I was excited, but I was also nervous because I knew taking 13 weeks off maternity leave was really hard for us because, the bills were still coming in. They don't care if you have babies. They still want you to pay the bills, right? So bills were still coming in. And so I was like, okay, and I'm sorry, I'm in a group message apparently. I came home, and a few weeks later I was on Facebook and I was just scrolling, and turned out I found this business through a post, which maybe you have found this business through a post. And so I joined, just kind of like Kelly, I had no idea what I was doing. I joined, I never even heard of the company before. I never tried a product before. I kind of just jumped in, leap of faith for sure, but it was exactly what I wanted. I could be home, I could make an income for my family. My goal was an extra $300 a month. It was, diapers and gas. It was, if we wanted to go on a date night, whatever it is, just the little things. That's what we needed. And so I jumped in, I caught the vision. I kind of just jumped in with both feet. And I highly recommend you do that because you will give yourself a fair chance if you do that. I feel like so many times, if the people that put their big toe in the water, and they're just like nervous jumping in, which we're all nervous jumping in, let's be honest. But if you just tried it a little bit, you're not going to get the full effect of it. You're not going to truly see what this business can do for you. And so I just kind of jumped in both feet, and I replaced my full-time dental assisting income in just 4 months, which is so crazy to me considering I worked hard to get to that. I went to school. That was with raises. I drove 45 minutes away to go to work. And I worked, 5 days a week for a boss that did not appreciate me. That was a narcissist that was just very rude to me and did not respect me because I was young, right? And so what's crazy to me is 4 months into this business, it replaced my full-time income. And I knew that this was where I was supposed to be. And so I just kept going. And now I also make a 6-figure income, with this business. And we are actually 100% debt free. This is our full-time income. This is what pays the bills. This is what paid off our debt, hospital bills with our 2 kids, that bought us a car. Now we're going to be building a house and paying for that in cash as well. So just big things that I never ever thought was possible was because of this business and because I said yes. And my husband even actually got to come home from night shift and, own his own time as well. So, it's just really awesome because time is everything. The freedom is everything. It's not about the money. It's not about the materialistic things. It's about the freedom and then just the time with your family. And this business has allowed that for us. So really quickly, I want to kind of go over what you get when you get started. Okay. Because people want to know that, right? So when you get started, you get a kit it's a virtual kit. Since we work online, you get over 140, or you get $140 worth of samples in your kit of our skinny brew coffee, which is absolutely amazing. I drink it every single morning. I know Kelly does too. I watch her stories every day, so I know she drinks it too, and I'm sure Becca does too. We love this coffee, okay? And everybody, think about how many people you know that love coffee. A fat burning coffee that you're going to be getting, and so you can sell those for $140 on the spot. You can make $140 that same day you start if you wanted to, okay? So you're making your money back instantly plus profit, which is incredible. There's literally no risk, okay? There's absolutely no risk. I made my money back in my first 2 weeks of starting the business, okay? So it's just amazing. And so you also get our one-on-one training. So whoever invited you, you get their one-on-one training. You get our group training. So it's kind of like we have trainings like this, with, us, or, some of our other leaders and people on the team. We have a whole team page on Facebook. So you're going to have so many resources. You literally cannot fail at this business unless you just didn't do it. Like, there's no way you can fail at this, because I know that's a fear that people have, is like, what if I fail? What if this? You have all the what ifs in your head, and just know that you're going to have everything you need to grow in this business. If you're open-minded, if you're coachable, if you're determined to make a change, and you have a strong reason why you want to do this, you will make it work, just like we did. Okay? It's all about a decision. And so I want to say this too, because when I first started, a little bit, like going back a little bit, I joined and did not have the money to start. I did not. Okay. Taking 13 weeks off maternity leave and then quitting my job, it was actually 3 days after Christmas I started this business, and I couldn't even afford my son's first Christmas. Okay. It's embarrassing to say, but it's just the honest truth. And I still found the money to start a business because that was my breaking point. I used that situation as the why I needed to start, instead of I can't start because I don't have the money. I use it as my why, because I knew if I had never gave this a chance, then I would never see like any result besides being stuck in the same situation, being broke and stressed like we were. And me and my husband was also arguing about money as well. And that's not fun, right? You just naturally take those stresses out on your loved ones. And so I just didn't want that anymore. And I didn't want our kids to grow up and thinking this was normal, because it's not normal. It's whatever you decide it to be. And so I just jumped in. I didn't have the money, but I borrowed it to start. And so you might not have the money right now, but that's exactly why you need this business. So, people that I know, I've had so many people join my team that obviously didn't have the money, because we don't join because we have it, right? We join because we need it. And so, credit cards, people charge it on a credit card and paid it back with their sample cash, borrowing it from a family member or a friend, pay them back with your sample cash. I've had people sell clothes that they don't wear anymore, anything they don't use in their house anymore. Just think of all the things you spent money on in your life that was just a waste. Like, I have things in my closet right now that are collecting dust, or that still have tags on them that I still have not worn, and I spent money on them. We spend money on stupid things. We do. And you know what? Most of everything in your life you spent money on that did not make you an income. And this can make you an income. This could change your life if you let it. Even if you want to be that $300, $500 extra a month, this could be your side gig or whatever. That's perfectly fine. Like, we all have different goals and different dreams and different whys. And that's the beauty of this business, is you don't feel like you have to quit your job to do this. Don't feel like you have to make a 6-figure income with this. If you just want to do this, and you love, like, you work full time now and you love what you do now, and you just want to use this as a side income, you can do that. Okay. Most of my team work full time and do this business on the side. And so it's totally up to you. It's just giving you that option and that freedom to say, if you wanted to quit, you can, like me and Kelly, we had that freedom. And so, I'm going to bounce it off to, Becca really quick. And she'll tell you her story.
Hey guys, so my name is Becca Garrido. I am a double diamond all the way in the Pacific Islands. So basically we are in over 25 countries. So if you have working internet, you could basically work this off anywhere. So a little story of me, I was teen mom, island girl, and kind of just growing up. Everything was just kind of small here. Everything was a community of maybe small mindsets, small belief, opinions. And basically, I kind of grew up knowing that maybe what I dream about, I'm not going to be able to achieve. And that's the reason why I kind of wanted to get out. I felt like I was put in a bubble. So I ended up moving to San Diego, thinking that maybe if I move location, I'm just going to do big. But even then, I was already working opposite schedules with my husband, and we had to figure out a way to watch my son. And so everything was the same except the location. And one day someone posted on Facebook about someone who wanted to work from home. And I secretly wanted that. Like, I wanted to join that. I had the big goal already in my head. Like, I want that. But let's be real. I just want to join this so I can have an extra stream of income, because I was already feeling like every single paycheck was paying for everything and we were left with nothing. And so that little extra to keep us breathing, which is kind of, it felt light. And so this business, I felt like was made for me. I love helping others and joining other people. And I am a total red and a total blue. Like, I love goals, but I also love to be with people, and that community was my thing. Especially leaving into San Diego, I did not know anybody. And so the community and the friendships that you make is something that I loved. But then network marketing was super new. Facebook was still kind of new, and no one knew what it was. And all of a sudden, all of these things that I left home, all these opinions and what people thought about me, it started creeping up, and it made me believe whatever they believed. And I capped myself. I basically told myself that I couldn't do anything about this, and that this was silly. And so even though I was doing really, really well in this company, guess what? I ended up quitting because I based it on somebody else's opinion and what I could not do, because they believed that. And I thought maybe my family didn't support me, so maybe that means I shouldn't keep going on. And so I basically limited myself, and then I quit. 2 years later, everything changed. I moved back home to Guam, and I had a second baby on the way. And so I ended up, instead of working as a full-time front office supervisor in the hotel, I became a stay-at-home mom. So everything changed. So we were living off of one income, and it was just so scary. And so just kind of living off of one income, and in the back of my head is like, I can't provide, I can't like add anything. And then I was like, yes, you can. You were part of the business before, that you've watched so many friends keep going, and you just capped yourself. So I ended up jumping back in, and it has changed everything for me. Everything has changed. Basically, I work this full-time. I have a full-time income. I have 2 kids here. We travel so often. We have purchased land. We're building multi-units, and it's just being in this business not only just helped change financially and all of that, and the opinions that kept creeping up, but it empowered me to finally tell my story, to finally talk about the struggles that I've been growing up with. And I use that as my superpower, and I've used that to help others empower themselves, and telling them that they can also do this too. If someone like me can do this, you can do this too. And that's what I love. Like, everything about this company allows you to tell your story, and it's just so helpful that you could touch so many others while you're growing and they're growing too. And just having that extra income. So about that extra income, we actually have 4 different ways that we make our money, and I love that. Love. So number 1, of course, you're going to get commission off of your products. We don't keep any inventory whatsoever, and we send people to our replicated website, and anytime we help somebody place their order, we get a commission off of that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is probably my absolute favorite, and I'm sure these 2 love it too. It's our sample cash, which Courtney talked about when you get with your kit with the digital. And so sample cash is basically with your skinny brew, or if you have any product on hand, and you can sell it to others and make cash in your pocket immediately. Like, I don't know about you, but I've had a time where I was like, I need $100 for my kid's field trip, or rent is due and I'm $100 off, or there's a birthday party and I want to make some extra income. Sample cash is something that you already know in front of you that this is how much you can just sell, and you'll have that cash immediately in your pocket. Number 3 is also our fast start bonuses. So basically, when we help our new teammate and we get them started, we help them get acquainted with business, we are given $100 at the next week, and those are unlimited. And then the last one is definitely a good favorite. I think all four are my favorite, but the last one is our performance bonuses. And basically the company throws out these huge bonuses that we all have earned. And when you rank up, when you help grow as a community, and when basically you just put the pedal to the metal, the company rewards you for doing that. So 4 different ways that we make extra income, and absolutely just a favorite and excited to share that info with you. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to Kelly so she can go ahead and tell you more info.
Okay, guys. So really, if you're sitting here, you have to be thinking, what am I doing if I'm not making money from my phone? Because this day and age, like we have our phones with us all the time, and you cannot lie. You're on your phone at least an hour a day, like at least an hour, probably more than an hour. What if you traded that time to make an income from your phone? Making the money Becca described, like, you have to imagine it. You have to imagine yourself in that place. And so something that Becca mentioned that I just wanted to kind of expand on is the community. So you guys, when we all started, we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. Zero idea what we were doing. No idea what we were walking into. The last thing we expected was to join a community of women that would empower us, that would mentor us, that would guide us. And that's exactly what we joined. And so we want all of you to know that when you join, you are going to be welcomed into a community of women and a culture that it's unmatched. There's nothing like it. Promise you that in any other company, in any other opportunity. You are trained by top income earners in the company. You're mentored. You feel immediately a part of our family, essentially. And it's just the friendships that we've made, for example, the three of us, we never would have met if it were not for this business. And we live all over the world. We get to see each other, multiple times a year. And it's so incredible when you are surrounded by women who empower each other and lift each other up. So I want you to know, I think that's a very common fear, that you're going to jump in and you're not going to know what to do. And then you're there to figure it out yourself. That's not the case. Okay. We train you, we mentor you, and we literally lock arms with you figuratively to help you along the way, to help you find the success that you want. Okay. And so we really appreciate you jumping on here tonight and listening, hearing what we have to say. Be sure to let the person who invited you know that you were on the call, that you learned all of the things. Tell them your favorite thing that you learned, and let them know when you're going to be ready, because they're going to be so excited to welcome you to the team, just like we are. We really appreciate you guys jumping on here, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.